Welcome, folks, to the next edition of PCCI. People have often asked me in our Twitter account that when we do the episodes, we should clear out the agenda first. This has been more the case with our political podcast, which is the Bhajpod. But I think it is a good practice.
Of course it is because the PCCI doesn't have followers. वही मुझे लगा ये कौन है जो PCCI को बोल रहे हैं कि तुम लोग एजेंडा सेट नहीं करते.
नहीं पीसीसीआई के डेडिकेटेड फॉलोअर्स हैं वे लेटर लिखते हैं हमको वो लोग
लेटर है, मैसेज है, और वो आई
They
मीन
slide into our DMs.
या
slide into
स्ट्रेट
DM तो Aditya बता पाएगा. But going back to the agenda, so this episode we primarily wanted to talk about the forthcoming test series between New Zealand and India. If you're living under a rock, and I don't know why would you click on this podcast. If you are, then you would know. If you're not living under a rock, that is that
unless of course you are a Shardul Thakur hater and you have not been watching any of the games.
like some of us here.
What if they are all Shardul Thakur lovers and they don't listen to us?
What if the whole world is just a simulation and only Shardul Thakur is real? These are bigger, deep questions that we will ask, but primarily we will cover two main topics. One is the New Zealand tour that India is doing right now, which will be broadly the maximum part of this episode, 80 to 90%. And for the 10% part, I just wanted to briefly go over the Under-19 World Cup. Right? I know we haven't watched every ball, of course, but I mean we've been talking in our WhatsApp group, so might as well start there. So let me start with you, Nishant. First thoughts on the Under-19 World Cup, and especially about Bangladesh winning, because it's a huge thing for them.
Yeah. So I didn't really. I mean, I was following it. I didn't watch a lot of matches. So I think India, thanks to Dravid mainly. I know we didn't win it this time, but the supply chain is like set like perfectly. I think it's really nice to see young, especially bowlers, because batsmen to Hamesha India has been producing. Yashasvi Jaiswal and even Priyam Garg bhi sahi hai. But the bowling was really nice to see. Um, Bangladesh ki to, like, as we were also talking in our WhatsApp group, you listen to Mohammad Isam, right?
Yeah,
That
I
story
that
was just
yeah.
amazing. Matlab, he was saying that how they have started. It's a different team than the senior setup. That they are more aggressive. They know how to finish games. Because this was like, I did watch the final because it was also on a Sunday. But yeah, इंडिया वर्सेस बांग्लादेश सीनियर क्रिकेट में जितने भी मैचेस हुए हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ देम लाइक हाई प्रोफाइल मैचेस, it was almost about to go exact to that script, but their captain, I think, it was. I mean, yeah, this team is this bunch of players definitely look out for. Although hearing Mohammad Isam, he was a little skeptical. वो बीच में,
और
like, the
पापुड़
players get lost and
अच्छा वो
uh,
हाँ.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, and then I think it's a huge thing. It's good that India didn't win. So I think it was like a win-win situation.
यही लोग कंप्लेन करते हैं अपने पॉडकास्ट के बारे में.
Why?
Good that India did not win. Thank you fucking national.
So no, I mean, I'm saying because see India का मतलब supply chain is set up, right? So वो उसमें से 5-6 लोग अभी
Definitely.
IPL में आ जाएंगे and then they'll get all the exposure in the world and most of them are eventually going to make it. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Did you
Bangladesh के लिए it was a
quick
huge
question
thing.
to you? Just on India, quick question to you.
Yeah.
Did you watch any games?
I mean, final definitely a little bit of highlights of the India-Pakistan game, and then there was this. I listened to Ian Bishop once.
In
He
a
was
podcast?
in a podcast. He was touting one of the West Indian fast bowlers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember his name, so I think
Jay said
something.
Chirels or
But
something.
anyway, so yeah, I just looked at the highlights of that. But yeah, I didn't. मतलब final के अलावा I don't really remember.
Did you see Kartik Tyagi ball?
Yes, in the final I did. He was good.
I think I mean I saw him bowl because I watched all the highlights, like 15 minutes Hotstar highlights of the game, and um, he has good control over his Yorkers. That is, of, of course, I feel watching the last Under-19 World Cup and this Under-19 World Cup, there in terms of especially bowling, I think that unit was more finished, if I could say that, compared to this one. But Karthik Tyagi is someone, if he stays fit, is someone to look
The
for the
last
future.
one, you mean when Mavi and Nagarkoti were
Yeah,
up?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. They're,
But for
yeah.
some reason कार्तिक नाम से मुझे अभी थोड़ा भरोसा कम है.
Why
Because
Kartik Aaryan की वजह से?
I know a lot of Kartiks who are not very मतलब, sane people. So I hope this one's better. So
Yeah.
Aditya, so your thoughts on Under-19 World Cup?
so I couldn't follow a lot of the Under-19 World Cup except for the final, and I watched a few here and there, some highlights of the quarterfinals and stuff. But again, I echo the same thoughts, right? So I the best thing that could have happened in this tournament was India not winning in the finals. It was a win-win in some sense because we reached the finals. I think that's what the Under-19 World Cup is all about. So it means a lot more to Bangladesh because in India we would have forgotten the Under-19 World Cup win
Yes. Yeah.
in a few days, right? So for us, it is not going to be the main headline when it comes to cricket because we have won so many of it. So I guess this is the best thing to have happened. But again, a lot of under-19 cricketers fall through the cracks. So India has the system. Whether Bangladesh has it, that is something we have to see. Because Bangladesh generally has had a young side, right? So the
Hmm.
current side is actually the most settled Bangladesh side that I've ever seen. Uh, the core in this World Cup has been playing for a while now, and I think the next generation of Bangladeshi cricketers had to come through. So in that sense, it is very heartening.
The funny thing is that these two teams played in the Asia Under-19 Cup final as well, right?
Hmm.
And the
And
thing
it was
is
a
that,
similar loss, right? I mean, Bangladesh couldn't chase 104 or something.
yeah,
So,
but the
You know
thing
what?
is,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just saying that the Indian team in that game was not like that was not full strength. Yashasvi was not playing. A lot of Priyam Garg was not playing in that game, so it was not a full strength Indian team, and yet that team beat this team.
But the one thing that makes me slightly uncomfortable is that the Indian cricket setup, a lot of the under-19 cricketers are not very amateur in that sense, right? They're not very as rookie as the rest of the under-19 setup in other countries are, right? So i- in some sense the playing field is not level even at that scale, so it makes me even more happy that a side other than us won. It shows that the health of cricket is at least decent because we need more rivalries, and I think India Bangladesh is soon going to be if it's
yeah.
already not, it's soon going to be the biggest
I think,
Asian
like
rivalry.
on a personal level, it's there. Uh,
Especially
Quality
from
में
the Bangladeshis,
yeah.
I'd say.
No, I mean, I think some of Indian fans are also vitriolic, and I think Bangladeshis do it as a result of what they face. So, uh, but yeah, quality wise, I hope they get there. Um, but yeah, India lost, but cricket win. Hashtag cliche.
But this game was very similar to the 2007 India Bangladesh game, World Cup game, in some sense.
Yeah,
We struggled at the start with the
Hmm.
bat, then somehow managed to put up a middling score, and then eventually at one point they lose early wickets, and
No,
then
it was this one was a total collapse. Yeah, this was like 25 for 7 or something, right?
in
They
Bangladesh's
were,
case, actually we should have won once they
yeah,
lost
yeah,
their
yeah.
sixth wicket. Yeah,
Yeah.
at that point, I agree on that. Yeah.
No, even on when India was batting, it was like 150 for 5, 3 थे हम ना शायद, and
Hmm.
then 176
Do you
or
remember
something.
another very similar final, which we lost while chasing, which is against Pakistan,
Pakistan 2006.
2006, जिसमें Pujara was part of that side, right?
This somehow I
Pujara,
don't. This
Rohit
was Asia
Sharma.
Cup.
रोहित शर्मा, हाँ.
This was Asia Cup or what?
नहीं नहीं
नहीं
नहीं,
नहीं, ICC Under-19
Oh,
final.
final.
under-19. Okay, okay. Yeah, that I okay.
In Sri Lanka, if I'm not wrong.
Basic, no, I do. Colombo.
Colombo.
So that team, and that is the thing. Usually on under-19 matches, it's difficult to chase, especially in the finals, right? So more credit to this Bangladeshi team, man, because we we were also chasing like 106 or something, and we all got all out for 95. This is 2006 I'm talking about. But the thing is from that game is that that game gave us so many players like Rohit Sharma, Pujara. I think Jadeja also played that game. So unlike the Pakistani team, then who from that team, there's no one in the current Pakistani setup. So I think we have a system in place. One thing that I just wanted to add quickly is every time that I see Yashasvi Jaiswal and the Saxena, yeah, what's the name of the Saxena guy, the other opening partner, यशस्वी जायसवाल के
Yeah.
साथ जो ओपन करता है,
Sorry.
जलद सक्सेना नहीं,
जलद
जलद
सक्सेना
सक्सेना तो गॉड है.
पुरानी
मेरे मन में भी उसी का नाम आया था, बट या
ध्रुव, दिव्यांश दिव्यांश सक्सेना,
हम्म,
दिव्यांश सक्सेना, राइट. तो इन दोनों के एक चीज मैंने नोटिस की कि बेसिकली इफ यू सी देयर स्टांस एंड ऑल, if you don't see the uniform, it seems like a Sena player is batting, and that is something that is very interesting that is happening. That these guys are being trained so much in non like subcontinent conditions that a lot of them have started to look like not non subcontinent players. Like Yashasvi Jaiswal, ka dekhna, like his back is almost like straight like an English batsman basically. ऐसा लगता है उसका stance देख के. Just
interesting.
just that's it, my thoughts. But moving
Yeah.
on, interesting करके अच्छा segue. Moving on to the primary topic that we wanted to talk about. Congratulations once again to the Bangladesh Under-19 team. Is the New Zealand, I mean India's tour to New Zealand,
और हम
and
लोग we are not pandering to Bangla Cricket Forum, I'm just clarifying.
We are just pandering to
तो
Poha.
पोहा बस.
इसी से याद आया, अभी लाइव स्ट्रीम में कह रहे हैं अनवर उल हुसैन, हाँ हाल हेलो अनवर हुसैन. This is a very niche reference. But anyway, so New Zealand tour. First thoughts, Nishant. Like, how do you see this test series happening? What are you most looking forward to in this specific test series?
I think again लोग शायद गाली देंगे, but I think Rohit Sharma not being there is a good like it's a don't want to use blessing in disguise because मैं रोहित हेटर नहीं हूँ कि अच्छा हुआ चोट लग गई उसको. It's just that somehow in these conditions I especially against Bolt and Wagner, I somehow don't see him. Even in England, I don't see him like as a long term. वैसे भी he's like 32 now, so बहुत long term बचा भी नहीं है. So I think it's good that somehow like Gill or Shaw. I hope it's Gill, but probably it's Shaw because वो पहले से खेल रहा था, and then he should पहले उसका basically he called shotgun. So that's one thing that I'm looking for. I hope Gill gets a chance. And the other thing which won't be that who I'm happy for is Umesh, because Ishant is not fit. Again, I think if Ishant is fit, I would probably still pick him over Umesh, because having Umesh and Shami both, matlab, it can go either ways. But ईशांत, आई एम वन ऑफ दोज जो मैं हर टेस्ट पिछले 2 साल से हर टेस्ट मैच के बाद हर इनिंग्स के बाद मैं ईशांत का एवरेज गिरते हुए देख रहा हूँ, एंड आई रियली वांट टू गेट इट. आई होप ही
Below
गेट्स
30.
लाइक बिलो 30. या वो बंदा मतलब 37 38 से ही इज नाउ इन 32. सो
मतलब एक इंडियन क्रिकेट फैन के लिए एक फास्ट बॉलर को 30 पे देखना भी बहुत बड़ी बात है.
even Zahir was almost 33, so he's
But
almost
Zahir, in Zahir's case, he played a lot of home cricket. At
yeah,
some point.
no, I
that is
mean
unfair.
quality wise Zahir was definitely matlab he's much better, but again Zahir ko, because he was consistently good, he didn't really have to work that hard to bring it down from 38 to where he was. So yeah, those are the two things. And then the other thing is that I hope to see well, 4 innings hain, so one good Kohli century would be like an icing on the cake.
Fair point. One thing that
और
I
मतलब this is from the Indian point of view of मतलब
अरे हाँ रे, अपन एकदम biased है full,
हाँ
कोई बात नहीं.
मतलब
अभी I'll get to you on New Zealand. I just wanted to add one thing that I know that Sani will not get a chance to play a test match, but I still think that will be his best format if he gets to play it. That he'll be a good test match bowler.
I'd
Uh,
like to see Saini play in Australia later this year. That is like the most tailor-made conditions for Saini would be Australia if you were to customize wickets. Assuming we'll play at Gabba or Perth, which I think we will.
so, with Aditya, your first thought on this tour and what are you like looking forward to if, as far
So
as India is concerned?
yeah, so on Rohit Sharma's case, I completely agree with Nishant, and for another reason, the
Hmm.
reason being that Rohit Sharma at the moment is 32. So if you look at the next set of overseas tours, do you really see Rohit Sharma being your opening option, winning your series in England? What's the best shot at it? So it's a blessing in disguise in that sense that you would at least get to see how Prithvi Shaw goes, because I think overseas something which we have been lacking in the last set of overseas tests is the Sehwag like start, right? So
Yes, yeah.
Can I say some?
even KL Rahul, yeah, go ahead.
No, no. I just wanted to say something that I guess I don't know if you guys have thought of it or not. I
Because
think
yeah,
just let me. I think Mayank Agrawal will not be a long term option for India as well, and I think he will be found out in the next this year
this is
basically.
the first big challenge for Mayank Agarwal in his
Well,
career.
he was decent in Australia already.
But
So
wickets,
Australia, yeah,
but
yeah,
do
I
you
know. I
really
mean,
think wickets? Yeah.
only so that it basically comes down to New Zealand, England, and South Africa.
No, even in
So
Australia, the actual challenging conditions were in the first two tests at Adelaide and Perth in that
yeah,
series.
yeah.
Those were the two challenging wickets in that series because he played his first test at MCG and which was basically a dud, that track, and so was SCG. So I think this is the first major challenge that he'll be facing. And if New Zealand is full strength, Bolt, Wagner, potentially Ferguson, and Saudi, I think it's going to be quite a challenge. So, India's opening pair, I actually think this series, how well we do in this series, would depend on how Pujara or Rahane fare, and not Kohli potentially. It's one of
Oh yeah,
those two.
Pujara is always. I mean, he's always the unsung hero.
But in the past year, in the last calendar year, he didn't have a really good test series, a defining test series. So I'm hoping this will be Pujara's series.
Yeah, I mean, see, because if the pitches are like the one that the practice match is going on, I don't think how you so you are not going to have what Kohli or Smith had in Australia, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because but Pujara, I am fine as long as he keeps on producing. Every few matches, if he does what he did in the first test in Australia.
But what I'm secretly hoping for is like a 2003 like series, like the wickets being like green and
That would be
because
fun.
both sides have really good pace attacks, and
Yeah.
the pitches that we saw for the England series were quite boring, honestly, in that New Zealand England series recently. So if wickets are going to be that green, then I'm a little in some sort of a dilemma as to whether we should pick Prithvi Shaw or in this series go for a stopgap in Hanuma Vihari because
Vihari, yeah.
you play out the new ball
And
that way.
suddenly we like I just saw that Cricinfo did an article today. Like, achanak se, what has happened? Why are we suddenly talking about
No,
Hanuma Vihari as a
so
stopgap? Like,
to be fair, we raised it before Cricinfo even raised this as a
yeah,
possibility.
PCCI impact, but still.
Impact. So, but
But like, why are we talking about this suddenly?
the reason is Mayank has had an iffy series in this one day series, and he has been found out, like genuinely found out by pace bowling, and he hasn't really gotten out to bad shots. He has just gotten beaten by pace and swing and stuff like that. So Mayank is iffy. Prithvi is anyway iffy, and then the third option that you have is an untested Gill. So, which way would you go? Or would you rather go with Hanuma Vihari, give him the cushion that he won't be dropped if he fails at the opening slot, and give him the role of just playing out the new ball? Would you go that way, or if the wickets are green, you would go with a high risk, high reward kind of an opener like Prithvi Shaw? This is something I have not made up my mind on, but it's a potential dilemma that Kohli will face.
I so Nishant,
Yeah.
just let's just quickly take your thoughts on the opening combination for India batting. So what, like I made a remark on my, I personally don't feel, I don't know, I just feel that there's something, man, there's just something that I just don't see.
So what are you thinking in terms? So future के लिए you're thinking no Mayank. Like let's say if
I think Mayank will
so, then who
not
are
be
you?
in the
Gill and
setup.
Shaw. Gill and
I
Shaw.
think
Is that what
we
you're
will
thinking?
see Gill and Shaw.
But
Does
Gill
Gill
Yes.
himself
open?
is not an opener,
Yeah,
right? In
exactly.
that
That's what I was
sense.
saying. Was Gill, does he even bat at the opening position for domestic sides? I don't think so. He does.
No, no, he's opening for Punjab. I mean, for whatever little Ranji that he played, he opened for Punjab, and I think the India 8 series in New Zealand, he was opening.
Okay. So see, I
So
think we have to keep in mind that this also has this is a part of the ICC Test Championship. So
mhm.
you also want to win at the bare minimum, not lose.
But I think we
So
have already sailed through in terms of the
uh,
Test championships.
yeah, are you
so
saying
I
we are
don't I
already in the finals? I don't know
Yeah.
because
so basically, let me just, so we have six more test matches to play, and
yeah.
in the next six test matches, we need to get 60 points. Which basically
Oh,
means that we need to win any two test matches from the next six test
And
matches.
we
But
have 5 at home, apparently, against England.
no, no, no.
So,
So no, forget. I'm not talking about that. Sorry. I'm saying next six overseas test matches. We have two
okay.
in New Zealand and four in Australia, out of which we need to win at
Okay.
least two.
Okay. Which I think is doable, right?
well, so anyway, so 6 out of 2 in New Zealand and Australia with Smith and Warner back. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's doable, but it's not a cakewalk. So
Yeah, that's what I think.
uh,
मुझे तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया 4-0 होगा तो भी सरप्राइज नहीं होगा, मतलब
हाँ,
इंडिया.
so anyway, we can talk about that later. But the opening में मुझे I think just because it has this the points are riding on it. uh, it I mean मेरी gut feeling ये बोलती है कि Agrawal and Gill would be better uh, as compared
फर्स्ट
to
टेस्ट तो गिल
Shaw.
नहीं खेल रहा है. गिल तो फर्स्ट टेस्ट नहीं खेल रहा, शॉ खेल रहा, शॉ और अग्रवाल खेल
हाँ,
रहे हैं
so
फर्स्ट
But
that's
Gill
the
is the
thing.
only
So
one to have scored 100 in the lead up. So the warm up game he
with
scored
red,
100
in red ball cricket, I mean Shaw ने
in
भी दो
red
तीन
ball
बना
cricket.
दी.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaw तो
The
one day
only thing
cricket
is that I don't think New Zealand A में Bolt Ferguson कोई खेल रहा था, right?
नहीं.
And Shaw, while I do think that if he has a good day, then his effect will be equivalent to what Sehwag used to have. Uh, but वही है ना, it's मतलब 0 for 1 in 5 overs and 40 for no loss in 5 overs में धागे भर का फर्क है. So
That is what I
yeah.
was coming to, because in the last set of overseas games that we had, we were invariably, even if we used to play out, say, Vijay and Rahul, right? Most of the
Hmm.
overseas tests, this was our opening pair, and even worse, Dhawan used to play a few test matches. So Dhawan played in England and South
Hey,
Africa. So I don't even.
last time he was pretty good in New Zealand. He scored
I
a
don't know why
century.
you're
No, no.
laughing. I don't know why you're laughing. It's only you who's laughing. I mean, I think, I mean,
No, so I'll just
obviously have
finish this.
that.
So
Mhm.
the problem that we had was that even if these guys played out 10 overs, we were never that far ahead in the game. Like the couple of instances where we were actually 50 for 1, 50 for 2 kind of a situation, we actually went on to win those test matches. So
Hmm.
this is why, like, having Prithvi Shaw might potentially be very useful, even if he was to not score 100. So I am
Oh
with you.
yeah, I mean, yeah, a good like even 35-40 would be like if you can do it in the first
More
10
so,
overs.
more so in challenging conditions, right?
Yeah, 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 definitely.
Because flat in Australia, 35-40 might not be
Hmm.
very useful, but the moment it becomes a shootout between the two bowling sides, then a player like Prithvi Shaw becomes more useful.
So Aditya, uh, to you,
Hmm.
who do you like? So who's your preference for opening for India, or do you want Hanuma Vihari to open
So, do you think, are you asking it in the context of this series alone or
for
going ahead?
now this series? For
So,
now this
for
series.
now, this series, given how Hanuma Vihari is batting right now,
Mm-hmm.
I'd feel more secure. If Mayank was in good form, I would have gone for Prithvi Shaw and Mayank to begin with. But I am really not. Given the Mayank doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. I wouldn't go with Prithvi Shaw in the first test, sadly. I might stick to Hanuma Vihari as an opener and give him the role that he did played in Melbourne, basically, because
So Mayank and Hanuma.
yeah, in New Zealand the wickets also tend to flatten out. So if you play out
Hmm.
that first couple of hours, uh, a lot of these games we have seen that wickets become really flat day two and beyond. So
That's the template for New Zealand, right? Whoever is
Yeah.
batting on the first day will have the most difficult time, and then the wicket just becomes easier. Nishant, who are your two openers for the first test?
Uh, just too few data points to go on.
That's
Yeah, but again, I पता नहीं गिल से एक fascination हो गया है उसकी highlights देखी थी अभी कुछ तो but
मुझे भी
anyway
है।
uh,
अच्छा
uh,
बाद में दूसरा क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा एंड में कि
हाँ,
सेकंड टेस्ट का प्लेइंग 11 क्या तुम लोग का, बट अभी के लिए लाइक
but
लॉजिकल फर्स्ट टेस्ट की बात करें।
logical first test I think I'm tending to what Aditya was saying. I think Vihari can do a job because Gill and Shaw and Agrawal तीनों ही थोड़ा सा like lottery type का हो सकता है. Just if I see Vihari walking out to open, I would मतलब थोड़ा सा एक सुकून रहेगा.
the other problem I have is I'll go a little safer in the first test because we have been very foolhardy in the first two tests of every overseas series
That's
uh,
because
with Kohli
this
and
is
Shastri.
after like I don't know कितनी series के बाद we are actually playing a red ball
हाँ.
practice match before
नहीं
a
तो
test.
even if you go all the way back to 2014 in that Adelaide test, Kohli
Hmm.
Shastri था तभी भी.
Yeah,
We played Karan Sharma, man, in the first test match in Australia.
yeah, yeah.
So we have made the most foolhardy decision. So we tend to drop. We dropped Rahane in the first test in South Africa. So we have taken
Hmm.
all these decisions in the very first test. So
Yeah.
I'd rather play safe in the first test and फिर देखो अगर if you are behind then you go ahead and play Shaw in the second test.
So
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, I agree
So
with both of you.
Agrawal and Vihari were my answer, but I think
Me
it's
too.
going to be Shaw and Agrawal.
I I agree with both of you. I think so. So agree as in I think Agrawal and Vihari is going to be the combination. I don't think Agrawal and Shaw will be the combination. I just feel, especially because Vihari has scored a century, so keeping him not in the playing 11 will, like, this is how this team thinks, right?
But
They
you're thinking based on logic, right? It all depends on how many glasses that Shastri has downed the previous night.
I just think
No,
that
I
it's
think no.
basically
See,
left to drink. It's Kohli who's taking all the
yeah,
calls.
I think, and also I think as far as the bowling is concerned, Kohli always goes horses for courses. So I hope he does that. I think didn't Pujara open in that first test in Australia?
No, in Sri Lanka he opened,
Oh
but
yeah, he opened in Sri Lanka. Yeah, he was at number three.
but that was a green mamba of a wicket. Huh?
Hmm.
वो वाला in the one in Sri Lanka, Dhammika Prasad wala test match. We
So yeah,
we
because
some we sometimes brush aside games just because they were played in subcontinent, but that
hmm.
wicket was as green as any you would find
Yeah,
in
yeah,
New
yeah,
Zealand.
and he scored. He carried his bat through,
140.
right?
Hmm.
So yeah.
So
Also, I think having Vihari would give me some confidence because वही है ना कि 0 for 1 and then all of a sudden if you also lose Pujara then it will be a huge
बिकॉज
so
बिकॉज विहारी के साथ ऐसा है ना कि 0 for 1 के लिए 10 ओवर भी शायद लग सकता है.
yeah, yeah.
मतलब 10 for 1 हो सकता है 6 ओवर के बाद. बट शॉ के साथ ऐसा है कि या तो यू आर 30 फॉर नो लॉस और यू आर डायरेक्टली 5 for 2. तो
Yeah,
that
so
can,
that
and with an iffy Rahane in the middle order, so it then just spirals down very
oh
quickly.
यार रहाने के लिए आई एम वेरी स्केर्ड एक्चुअली बिकॉज ये सीरीज भी अगर नहीं खेला वो तो
But he's
it
been
might
in
be
decent form this year. I think he was your highest run scorer or something in the
huh? Really?
second highest run scorer टेस्ट क्रिकेट में.
आखिर में उसने लगातार कुछ
नहीं,
50s और
वेस्ट इंडीज
100
में
मारा
भी
था।
he was the highest run scorer ना. वेस्ट इंडीज में everyone else failed actually. Uh,
So so last question on the openers. So here's my thing that, like, I am thinking. So how long will, like, it's basically, it looks like, so you guys know that Prithvi Shaw and Shubman Gill will be playing for India in the future at some point. They will be part of this setup for sure,
Yeah,
right? Both of you agree.
yeah,
yeah.
Now, so my question is, how long will you just keep shielding them? Like, what is the point of shielding? Like, I understand, and I myself feel that Hanuma Vihari should play, but I'm just trying to be a devil's advocate. What I'm trying to say is that if you think that there are these two kids who have immense talent,
But I'll
how
tell
long
you,
will you keep
yeah,
them inside?
yeah. But I'll tell you why I'm shielding them, and the problem lies with how we have approached our one-day cricket. Because 50-over cricket should have been the buffer, and the fact that we kept playing Shikhar Dhawan constantly in the past year and a half meant that neither of these two have had any international exposure, which they should have ideally. The bilateral one day series in New Zealand and all these places are the games where either of Shaw or Gill or both of them should have played. Had they had a bunch of one day games at least leading up, I would have felt more confident. This is what we have not done. And sadly, I don't see us changing this template going ahead either.
And also, we वही ना कि इंग्लैंड एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अलावा we only play two tests. So
Yeah,
if this was like a four test series or even a three test series, you could have started, with whatever,
riskily. Yeah. Hmm.
more riskily, or even if you would not have. I mean, there was more chance that everybody is going to get some game at some point. So yeah, I think that's another issue, that we are only playing two tests.
Yeah, yeah.
Even
I mean,
against
I
South Africa, it's going to be the same. So
Imagine Prithvi Shaw got 3 games now, right? So imagine him having got. So he had other things going around with him, which is a completely different scenario. But at least with Gill, you could have done that. You could have opened. धवन के साथ तुम 3 साल तक वही कर रहे हो, same experiment. You will do the same thing going ahead. This is not how you are going to build a test team either, because your test team is now getting pretty old. The batting
yeah.
lineup especially.
बॉलिंग लाइनअप में तो यंगस्टर्स ही भरे पड़े हैं ना.
so
Bowling तो बहुत है ना अपने पास.
next question that forget the pace unit.
Yeah.
Who's the spinner?
Ashwin
Ashwin.
for me.
Ashwin.
It's a no-brainer for me. I'd
Yeah.
start with Ashwin.
I think because he's a more wicket taking option, and he in tests, especially in these conditions, I think he would be probably equivalent to with the bat to Jadeja.
Nee,
Fielding will, of course, but then it doesn't really matter in tests, I think.
and Jadeja didn't have a really good home season either. Huh? He didn't have a very successful home season with the ball.
Yeah.
Starting from West Indies, he doesn't have a lot to show for with the ball.
But again, I have a feeling because Kohli likes to attack with pacers,
Nee,
so
but
he
even
needs a
otherwise, na?
spinner.
Nee,
What?
he got. I don't. I think it was the first test against South Africa where Dean Elgar scored 100,
Yeah,
Quinton de Kock scored 100.
Yeah.
तो वो गेम में भी I think he was particularly very
that's
expensive.
the only innings when they did
Scored
something.
400. उसके बाद तो
Yeah.
फास्ट बॉलर्स ने खत्म कर दिया ना सीरीज.
Hmm.
That is the only inning where the spinners had to bowl. तो वहाँ पे
Yeah.
भी Jadeja didn't have
No,
a very
even
good home season.
no, it's just that मतलब मेरे बोलने का पॉइंट ये था कि जडेजा हैज बीन मेड इनटू दिस, उसकी इमेज बन गई है दैट ही कंटेन्स, which I don't think is, मतलब अगर अश्विन से कंपेयर करें, he can also contain. I don't think he's like is he
Exactly.
that more expensive than Jadeja? I don't think so.
No, because if you go back to the last series that we won in Australia, the first test Adelaide में Ashwin bowled around 50 overs in the test match, right? More than
Yeah.
60 overs he bowled.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
second innings में he hardly considered 2 an over, and that allowed the fast bowlers to actually rotate.
Yeah.
On and that was a really hot day at Adelaide, right? We were only playing 4 bowlers in that second innings. So Ashwin did. The problem with Ashwin in the past 2 overseas tours have been not his ability to pick wickets, but his fitness. So
And he has actually improved his record, I thought. in the
yeah.
last,
So he has taken.
yeah.
तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में एडलेड में he had 6 wickets.
Yeah.
सेंचुरियन में he had 4 wickets in the first innings that he
Yeah,
bowled. In South Africa. So he has had a good bunch of tests, but the problem with him has been his fitness. So he broke down midway in that Southampton test against England, because otherwise against England he had a good series to begin
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
Those 2 really good ones against Cook na पहला टेस्ट मैच में.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
guys see any chance of both Jadeja and Ashwin playing?
That leaves you with only 2 pacers. Or are you saying that you then somehow
So
किसको
you
ड्रॉप
mean,
करोगे भाई? Like three pacers and two spinners, or then you're saying two pacers and two spinners?
or you drop Hanuma,
No,
or
I'm
you
saying
drop
three.
one of the openers and you open with Hanuma for sure. That is the only other way you can fit them in.
But New Zealand में both, I don't think, especially
Nahin.
nahin. I mean, I would still have. I would rather have four pacers and one spinner than.
And Viari can bowl a few overs in any case, na? Test match में तो
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. In fact, वो जो ब्रेंडन मैकुलम और बीजे वॉटलिंग का जो एपिक था, उसमें तो रोहित
हाँ,
शर्मा ने भी 12-13 ओवर डाले थे.
नहीं वो
हाँ
तो
मतलब अगर अपन
मजबूरी.
उसके लिए जा रहे हैं तो फिर तो
Yeah.
फर्स्ट पेस क्वार्टेट बोल रहा हूँ, पेस ट्रियो की बात करना. आई डोंट थिंक इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट बिकॉज आई नो फॉर द फर्स्ट टेस्ट इट्स गोइंग टू बी बुमराह, शमी एंड यादव.
Yeah, Ishant is not fit, so yeah.
या I will like we will go and talk about the second test more later, but let's quickly talk about New Zealand. New Zealand home series, they've recently lost very badly to Australia. Nobody really expected, like people expected them to compete better. Absolutely did not. But then they did basically whitewash India in the one day series. I don't know how much that, I don't believe in momentum, but
Nah, nah.
you know.
Yeah, it's
So so
just
if
like
and
fortress. That word is just baseless. Like it's just
pointless.
yeah.
Gabator.
But but Aditya, quickly on New Zealand, if like what are they going in with, and can you for a moment put yourself in New Zealand player fan shoe, and how do they look at this Indian team, which is ranked number one basically?
I would look at this Indian team as one that has a lot of vulnerabilities, especially the batting order, right? So something that you would definitely go for against this Indian side is having a green wicket. Even if India has the fast bowling lineup, I don't see India over a course of 4 innings
Mm-hmm.
scoring 300, 350 plus on most of the occasions if you have green wickets.
I think I disagree with this
And
because
because
South
news
Africa ने भी यही किया था, and that almost cost them.
almost cost them, but see again, we couldn't chase down 200 on most occasions, right? So even in England this happened. So we had the bowling attack in all these series, but our batting always let us down. So I would say that New Zealand has the better defensive batting ability than India.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely,
so on
definitely.
a green wicket, I think New Zealand with its bowling attack would definitely fancy its chances. Because see, we who's our equivalent of BJ Watling? So New Zealand, even if they are 80 for 5, I can still see them reaching say
Ashwin.
parity 250, or I don't think Ashwin can.
I'm kidding.
So
अश्विन अश्विन को बैटिंग करते देखते तो मुझे मेरी याद आती है, क्योंकि स्टांस वांस में मैं भी बहुत प्रोफेशनल लगता था
but
जब अश्विन
Ashwin
खेलने
has
पे
the
आता
No
था
man,
ना.
strokes,
बहुत
sir.
ज्यादा
Yeah, Ashwin has the strokes. Yeah, I agree.
I feel
In fact,
I believe
last
them
New Zealand,
overrated.
I think वो 2014 वाले वनडे टूर में he
He
and
almost
Jadeja
won
Jadeja
you a
pulled off
game.
one. Yeah,
He
no,
and
well,
Jadeja.
it was a tie, but
He and
yeah,
Jadeja.
yeah.
नहीं, but Ashwin is like गरीबों का VVS.
बहुत गरीब होगा.
बहुत
Like
ज्यादा, मतलब below poverty line
Yeah,
VVS.
yeah.
क्योंकि हनुमा विहारी अभी मुझे थोड़ा सा गरीबों का भी लगता है.
नहीं,
Hanuma
Hanuma
Vihari is
Vihari
more
is
strokeless.
no, Hanuma Vihari is गरीबों का VVS by virtue of how he plays and which position he plays.
And
Ashwin is basically how he stands.
एंड हनुमा विहारी
Yeah.
का कॉन्स्टेंटली बीइंग अंडर प्रेशर भी वीवीएस है.
Hmm.
वीवीएस करियर के एंड तक ना 2010 में भी जब भी वीवीएस यूज्ड टू स्कोर, हिंदी न्यूज चैनल्स बोलता था कमबैक गेम में उन्होंने अच्छा किया है. मतलब यशपाल शर्मा इवन टिल 2010 वो मोहाली में देखिए वीवीएस कमबैक कर रहे हैं, अच्छा खेल रहे हैं. अरे कमबैक कहाँ से कर रहे हैं? तो हनुमा आई
यार
थिंक विल बी दैट.
यार हिंदी कमेंट्री की बात ना करो तो बेटर है भी. एक दिन जिंदगी
Yes.
राष्ट्रभाषा.
सुशील
मातृ
जोशी.
हमारी
और
सबकी मातृभाषा.
जब मैंने हेडलाइन पढ़ा तो मुझे लगा कोई यांडू वांडू आजकल जो अमोल मजूमदार और विवेक राजदान कमेंट्री कर रहे हैं उनमें से किसी ने बोल दिया होगा. सुशील जोशी तो कितने टाइम से कमेंट्री कर रहा है यार.
इसीलिए तो उसको कॉन्फिडेंस था बोलने का.
उसने बोला बोल दो वहां की आग,
हाँ,
बहती गंगा में हम भी हाथ धोएंगे.
हम तो लेंगे. ऐसे तो कोई मुझे याद करेगा.
And the thing is ki like Hotstar is also following the format of like Doordarshan where there are two commentators and both are talking to each other. हिंदी में बोल रहे तो काफी अच्छा वातावरण है. Yeah, yeah, definitely the climate is good today.
But this is also the All India Radio format.
हाँ
सुरे
सॉरी ऑल इंडिया रेडियो फॉर्मेट
सुरेश
है.
सरैया और कोई और बैठ के बात कर रहा है साथ में ऐसे.
अच्छा, ये डोमेस्टिक वाले मैचेस में दे आर नॉट, बिकॉज इंटरनेशनल मैचेस में इंग्लिश हिंदी के साथ साथ दे हैव मराठी, कन्नड़ा एंड अदर
हाँ, हाँ.
कमेंट्री एज
नहीं
वेल.
नहीं भाई,
डू दे
प्रोडक्शन
हैव
में
इट
पैसा
हियर?
भी लगता है यार.
डोमेस्टिक में
या,
एक लैंग्वेज में मिल रहा है, वही बड़ी बात है यार.
हाँ,
डोमेस्टिक
ओके.
में एक लैंग्वेज में नहीं मिल रहा है. सॉरी, लेट मी क्लैरिफाई. डोमेस्टिक में दो कमेंटेटर होते हैं, एक हिंदी बोलता है, एक इंग्लिश बोलता है. ठीक है, ऐसा होता
मल्टीलिंगुअल
है.
फीड.
तो लाइक रोहन गावस्कर इंग्लिश में बोलता था, ओह इट्स अ गॉन्जो, और उसके बाद सामने में जी हाँ मैं विवेक राज था.
भाई,
हाँ
सामने
जी, हाँ, ये तो
रोहन गावस्कर का
जी हाँ, ये तो
प्रमोशन हो
गोंजो हो
गया.
गए.
रोहन गावस्कर का प्रमोशन हो गया. वो अंडर-19 वर्ल्ड कप में आईसीसी के फीड में था वो.
या, हाँ, वो था वहाँ पे. या,
नेपोटिज्म.
तो लगता है सनी जी का टाइम आ गया है अभी. रोहन जी आ जाएंगे लगता है.
सनी जी ने बोला है कि अभी यहाँ पे इसको प्रैक्टिस डोमेस्टिक है रोहन जी का.
सनी जी ने ये भी बोला है कि देश में लोग टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हैं लड़ाई करके.
हाँ
वो,
क्या?
हाँ, सनी जी ने बोला है कहीं कोई कॉन्वोकेशन में.
ये
कॉन्वोकेशन में उसने कभी एक किसी
क्या?
मराठी न्यूज़पेपर में आर्टिकल भी लिखा था,
हाँ,
राइट?
हाँ, हाँ. कॉन्वोकेशन नहीं, हाँ, कोई मराठी इवेंट में बोला था उसने कि
ओके, आई थिंक इट वाज लाइक
प्रोटेस्ट
एन
में लोग.
ऑपेड और समथिंग, ऐसा
हाँ,
कुछ.
सनी जी ने बोला है कि
सनी जी इज द ओरिजिनल. लाइक सनी जी ने लव क्रूसेड किया, तुम लोगों को पता है ना?
कैसे,
क्या किया है?
लव क्रूसेड.
वो क्या
लव
होता
क्रूसेड.
है? सनी जी तो सनी जी इज मैरिड टू गुंडप्पा
घर वापसी
विश्वनाथ
करवाई है.
सिस्टर ना.
ना ना ना, उल्टा है. सनी जी सिस्टर इज मैरिड टू गुंडप्पा
ओ,
विश्वनाथ.
ओके, ओके. हाँ.
सनी जी इज मैरिड टू अ क्रिश्चियन.
ओ.
ओह, घर
दैट
वापसी
इज
कराई है सनी जी ने, मतलब.
एग्जैक्टली.
हम्म.
ये दिस पॉडकास्ट इज नॉट फॉर दिस गाइस. सो
ओह या, न्यूजीलैंड, सॉरी.
हाँ.
या,
तो व्हाट डू यू सी न्यूजीलैंड स्पेस अटैक एज बीइंग?
वैगनर,
वैगनर
सऊदी,
तो खब्बू
बोल्ट,
गेंदबाज.
ये तीन रहेंगे. इनके साथ
इज
शूटिंग
फर्ग्यूसन
पे
फिट?
रहेंगे.
इज फर्ग्यूसन फिट?
Ferguson
मैट
is
एंड्रे.
fit.
इज हेनरी
Apparently
फिट?
he is fit. Yeah, Henry won't start, na. If they have Ferguson, they'd
हाँ,
rather
if they
go
have
with Ferguson.
या, you're right.
But
फर्ग्यूसन. हाँ, कहाँ फर्ग्यूसन किसकी जगह खेलेगा फिर? वो नहीं खेलेगा क्या? सऊदी नहीं
it has to
खेलेगा
be
क्या?
either of Saudi or Ferguson, right?
No, so
दोनों तो
वो दो स्पिनर थोड़ी खिलाएंगे. And
Santner खेलेगा.
for them Santner can bat.
Jimmy Neesham है bowling के लिए.
Nisha,
ग्रैंड डैडी भी है.
I think भाई CDG will be the most. I think after Bolt
हाँ,
सबसे ज्यादा डर मुझे डिबली डॉबली से ही लग रहा है.
अरे मुझे भी.
ग्रैंड
तो
डैडी. जैसा कहते हैं ग्रैंड डैडी.
नोमान
राशिद
नोमान
भाई
अंकल
कहते हैं.
बोलते हैं ना.
राशिद भाई कहते हैं.
हाँ. बट सीरियसली यार, डिग्रैंडोम मुझे वो हंसी क्रोनिये वाला वाइब्स देता है यार. तो मुझे लगता है कि कोहली के लिए डिग्रैंडोम का खतरा है.
Yeah, I think because if the conditions are there, he's going to be Bolt तो फिर भी like because he's a pacer तो there is an off chance for you may get wavered और कुछ इधर उधर width मिल गई, कुछ हो गया, but with CDG I think yeah,
और एक शॉर्ट मिड विकेट रख लो, शॉर्ट कवर रख
Yes.
दो, बस.
yeah.
आई कैन सी कोहली अभी ऑलरेडी आई कैन विजुअलाइज कि अपिश भी ड्राइव किया या फ्लिक किया, रहाणे ने एक अपिश और शॉर्ट मिड विकेट में कैच किया. सीडीजी इज लाइक टेलर मेड फॉर दैट.
आई थिंक सो. न्यूजीलैंड
So yeah, for the
basically
Pacers,
what I
it's
talked to you guys.
Bolt, Saudi, and Wagner. Sorry, Ferguson. No, actually, all four can play. What's the problem?
हाउ वुड दे फिट इन? क्योंकि नीशम और सीडीजी विल गिव यू द बैटिंग.
Yeah,
हाँ, इन लोगों का ऑलराउंडर है ना.
तो
yeah, and
इनके पास
Santner
कौन
can
कौन है?
bat as well. Santner can bat also.
हेनरी
ये
निकल्स.
ये टाइम है जब अपन रॉबिन सिंह को एक्चुअली यूज कर सकते थे. 20 years लेट.
Robin Singh Jr.
Ritinder Singh Sodhi को भी कर लेते.
But you know what? There is another guy who I'm a little worried of. Tom Blundell. That he is exactly the sort of player जो once he starts taking on our bowlers ना, we can leak a lot of runs. So if it's a shootout kind
And
of
he is
a
definitely playing because पिछले
Yeah.
मैच में century थी उसकी.
Century थी उस- हाँ,
So yeah,
century
he's
में.
definitely playing. Yeah.
The way you guys feel about Prithvi Shaw, right?
हाँ.
is exactly the way I feel about in bowling Umesh Yadav. Either he will be bowling like Malcolm Marshall or he will be bowling like Mushraf Murtaza.
So yeah,
Okay, there
exactly.
is no in between.
That's why if
नहीं
ईशान
यार,
was
but
fit, I also think मतलब शामी और वो साथ में उमेश थोड़ा ज्यादा हो जाएगा.
but अभी ऑफ लेट उमेश हैज bowled with more control ना पहले से. एटलीस्ट ये होम सीजन में तो he has
It was
shown more
against
control.
Bangladesh यार, and
नहीं,
then
साउथ अफ्रीका वाला सीरीज में भी for that matter.
हाँ
वर्ल्ड चैंपियंस
yeah.
का मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं ये लोग यहाँ पे बैठ के.
So, I don't know. I think उमेश के साथ ये unfair भी है ना कि he has played all his cricket in India.
Yeah.
ओवरसीज उसने 2 टेस्ट मैच खेला है यार पिछले पूरे 16-17 टेस्ट मैचेस में ऑफ व्हाटएवर वी हैव प्लेड इन. इवन इन वेस्ट इंडीज ही डिडंट प्ले. तो ऑन वन हैंड वी से कि अरे यार बुमराह का इतना अच्छा स्टैट्स है, ईशान का अच्छा स्टैट्स है, बिकॉज यू लुक एट द कंडीशंस राइट. साउथ अफ्रीका में द काइंड ऑफ विकेट्स यू हैड, हु इज टू से दैट उमेश वुडंट हैव पिक्ड अप विकेट्स.
मैं like we're just quickly talking about Bumrah. I think Bumrah will be even better when he plays in India, but that's a whole different thing. We'll talk about this
I mean,
sometime
he
later.
just missed out because of injury, but yeah.
No, I'm just playing the devil's advocate कि he hasn't played enough overseas in the last set. I'm not even talking about the 2011, 12 or 14 ka tours. Even Shami was a different bowler back then and Ishant was a different bowler back then.
Yeah, you're right, but it's just again na matlab just because I think the crux of the problem is just 2 tests.
Yeah, exactly.
So thoda sa like at least if it would have been 3 then
How we wish this one day series wouldn't have happened, because we already played a 5-match one day series last year in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So
I didn't really care about the one day series much. I just, in fact, मैंने highlights तक नहीं देखे मैं one day series के.
नहीं, शार्दुल ठाकुर खेल रहा था तो उसके बाद तो मैंने कुछ भी नहीं देखा.
I watched the first one because when I woke up and I saw मतलब 347
Just talk about this. तो plan क्या है basically? Plan मतलब मैं ये क्या दीपक चाहर fit होगा तो उसके वो आ जाएगा, इसलिए शार्दुल ठाकुर को तब तक खिलाते रहेंगे जब दीपक चाहर fit नहीं होगा. Is that the plan? Like क्यों खेल रहा है शार्दुल?
तो शार्दुल ठाकुर is number 8 क्या in the picking order? 7 or 8?
I think he's only playing because they think he can bat. And so which I can extrapolate to कि वो दीपक चाहर की fitness की वजह से, because he was the one of those who could somehow slot in at 8.
तो वो बॉलिंग में 40 रन ज्यादा देगा लेकिन बैटिंग में वो 3 छक्के मार सकता है.
does not, और नहीं मारा जरूरत पड़ने पे, एक बार बस मारा वेस्ट इंडीज के अगेंस्ट.
नहीं मारेगा ना यार, मतलब वो वेस्ट इंडीज के खिलाफ यू लुक एट द क्वालिटी ऑफ स्ट्रोक्स, आउटसाइड एज में 6 जा रहा है, मतलब तुम उसके बेसिस पे लोगों को पिक करोगे क्या? उतना बैटिंग तो तुम चहल को दे दो, 3-4 आउटसाइडर्स तो कभी ना कभी.
अरे सैनी डिड इट.
सैनी बैटिंग कर रहा है, आउटसाइड एज पे मार तो रहा है सैनी भी. सैनी मतलब प्रॉपर राइट हैंडेड युवराज.
हां तो
No, I think why are we saying Chahar? Pandya bhi, I think Pandya would be
अरे नहीं यार, पंड्या आ जाएगा तो क्या आप शार्दुल की जगह पंड्या को खिलाओगे? तो क्या आप 2 फास्ट बॉलर्स खिलाने वाले हो?
नहीं यार,
अरे इससे I don't think it will make a difference. Yes, what's the point? मतलब कि 9 ओवर में वो 90 दे रहा है. I think हार्दिक will be better. He will be a better fielder, a better batsman.
मैं कह रहा हूँ कि प्लान क्या है फिर? अगर शार्दुल पंड्या का रिप्लेसमेंट है तो फिर तो और भी पथेटिक है बात. नहीं तो विजय शंकर को खिला लो, मैं कहता हूँ.
I would see कि शार्दुल पंड्या replaces जडेजा in Australia. वर्ल्ड T20 का बात हो रहा है तो. Because
पंड्या replaces जडेजा.
क्योंकि
no.
I think both should play. I think.
Yeah, I think I think
फिर you will sit out the so one of your leg spinners sits out then.
Yeah. मेरे हिसाब से तो दोनों को हटा दो सालों को.
अरे ये नहीं पसंद है मुझे.
Why?
Actually,
No, because my logic is not that they are not good bowlers. My logic is bottom 4 में कुछ चाहिए बैटिंग.
नहीं ना, अगर if you have Chahar and Pandya, then your batting is effectively the same, right?
Basically, that I mean we are talking about One Day and T20 now, but one thing that I have a huge problem with this setup is you played Kuldeep and Chahar in South Africa. You played them everywhere.
Chahar और चहल.
One game. चहर की बात कर रहा हूँ. ये चार और उसके. But then you played one game in the World Cup where they could not get you a win and you just खत्म. सब कुछ खत्म. एक गेम से सब कुछ खत्म. एक गेम से सब कुछ डिसाइड हो गया.
But the same with this series, right? So ये सीरीज में कुलदीप के साथ में I would have gone on पहले गेम में मारा था कुलदीप को लेथम ने, तो वी immediately dropped him, and you had more confidence in Shardul Thakur but not
Then Kuldeep.
Kuldeep, who has picked a hat trick in the previous series against Australia.
No,
लॉजिक
so
ही देखना है तो ऐसे सोचो ना, तो आई वुड हैव रादर प्लेड कुलदीप थ्रू दिस वनडे सीरीज एंड सीन हाउ ही बॉल्स अगेंस्ट रॉस टेलर एंड लेथम एंड विलियमसन, क्योंकि ही इज फेसिंग अ चैलेंज, राइट? सो गो थ्रू इट एंड फिनिश इट ऑफ. एटलीस्ट यू विल बी एबल टू मेक अ डिसीजन ऑन इट. लेकिन
see,
शार्दुल ठाकुर 25 रन देगा ये तुमको गारंटी है, जैसे कि
yeah, and
हमको
see,
डर है.
We are building towards a T20 World Cup in Australia. तो okay, because it's in Australia, I can give leeway कि एक उन दोनों में से एक को खिला सकते हैं, but they should not, मतलब it should be 9, क्योंकि 9, 10, 11 I'm fine with having Kuldeep slash Chahal and then followed by Shami and Bumrah or Saini and Bumrah, but हाँ मतलब Jadeja and Pandya should both be there.
But Jadeja, yaar, with the ball, na, he sometimes doesn't inspire confidence. So the way he bowled against West Indies, so once he starts going for runs, he can genuinely go
He
for
just
a lot of runs. He
dart
just
in,
darts them in. Yeah.
and then people will play him like a medium bowler.
2016 World T20 देख लो ना, मतलब
2016 वर्ल्ड T20 में क्यों हारे ये तुम्हें पता है, मुझे पता, तो let's not go there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, New Zealand.
Yeah, sorry. So I think we've talked about. We will come back to at the end. I will come back to both of you and ask for your 11 Indian 11 for the second test,
Okay.
because वो थोड़ा. But right now let's just go back. वक्त को थोड़ा पीछे ले जाते हैं, and let's start with Nishant. Your, like, growing up, your memories of India touring New Zealand.
So 98 99 सीरीज के पहले की तो मेरी कोई मेमोरी ही नहीं है न्यूजीलैंड की. So I might have मतलब heard about Martin Crowe's heroics and all those things, but never really followed them before that because I was just 10 11 years old. Or when was before 96, when did we go to New Zealand?
94.
94.
94,
So yeah,
95 में भी अपन, मतलब 94 95 में
yeah,
अपन गए.
94 95, and then at that time I don't even know घर में टीवी था भी या कौन सा टीवी था, and especially waking up that early school days, so yeah, I honestly don't
Very
remember
young
any.
age,
Yeah.
7 8 years old.
But 98 99, 2 3 things I definitely remember. One is that was the series where Dravid the man became Dravid the future legend. Because उसमें एक तो वो I'm sure Aditya is also going to bring it up, that one day innings,
122
123 actually, or 123.
हाँ, वही.
Yeah, so
वही same difference.
I think पहली बार लाइफ में द्रविड़ को छक्का मारते देखा था उस इनिंग्स में.
Power failure हुआ था उस मैच में ना.
What?
Something like a power failure happened and the game was shortened because of it. Something like that.
That I don't remember.
Go ahead. I'll
But
verify.
anyway, but that, and then even before that, because Dravid, I think after that glorious debut in Lords, he wasn't really knocking it out of the park in the sense, I mean, no pun intended there, but he wasn't even straight driving for fours. Forget about
He
knocking
was
it out
having
of
a
the park.
difficult
Yeah, he was
time
having a
scoring
difficult time.
hundreds.
And in that series, there was that one game where he scored two
Wait,
hundreds in both.
quick question.
Yeah.
This is 98 99, right? So before 99 World Cup, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This was
This is just before the
slightly
India-Pakistan
after,
series of 99.
right?
Okay,
I
okay,
think
okay.
just after Desert Storm. उसके बाद फिर
Yeah,
certain-
exactly.
yeah.
Yes, you're right. Yes. Yeah, go on.
After Henry Olonga, not Desert Storm.
Oh,
Desert Storm
right.
तो early in
हाँ,
the
हाँ,
year.
yeah. Desert Storm early था, yeah. After Henry Olonga. So yeah, that is one memory that I remember. The other thing is because तब इंडिया में थे and we had to get up really early, especially New Zealand में, मतलब ऑस्ट्रेलिया में ही बहुत जल्दी हो जाता था, तो New Zealand was even 2 3 hours before
और
that.
रात को 3:30 बजे
So
चालू
yeah,
होता था.
that was the only 2 or 3 memories that I have from 98 99. Most of my memories, I mean, and I don't think there are many highlights available of those as well. At least मेरे को याद नहीं है कि मैंने कुछ देखा highlights में. It may have been a while ago. So that's from that series. And then the 2002 2003 series, was it 2001 2002 or 2000 whatever?
2002-3 before the World Cup.
Yeah, before the World Cup.
Just right before the World Cup.
That that series
Fun
made
team.
me realize. I mean, it was like, I mean, that's when I kind of became a fan of New Zealand, because every time they would lose, like we were able to pick early wickets, but then Craig McMillan happened, and उसके साथ साथ डियॉन नैश ने उस टेस्ट सीरीज में क्या बैटिंग की है, लाइक द रियर गार्ड एक्शंस दैट डियॉन नैश, क्रिस गेन्स, Daniel Vittori scored a 50 or something in one of those tests. So India would bat first, we would get decimated for 110, whatever. Then New Zealand would be like 30 for 3. And then they would just somehow fight back and, you know.
But there was even worse. Actually, एक टेस्ट मैच में we took a lead after scoring 98 in the second test.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
we
yeah.
scored
I
99.
mean,
Huh.
we scored 99 or we scored like 115 and they got all out for
No,
99.
we scored less than 100 and they scored even less. पहले
Oh, okay.
इनिंग में.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
we
yeah.
had a 5 run lead or something like that.
और वो भी आई थिंक द्रविड़ और नेहरा की वजह से.
That is a test match we should have won actually. That Zahir Khan ka 5 था उसमें.
Yeah, Zahir
Yeah.
at that point was, I think he had like 5 or 6 consecutive test innings outside Asia where he had taken 5 fours or
Yeah.
tests, like at least one inning, something like that. But yeah, in that series, my best memory is Nehra ji hitting a winning run with one ball to spare in a one day.
Yeah, I remember
Because that
that.
was so Sehwag अलग ही level पे खेल रहा था उस series में, right? In the one day series, he was
The only
yeah,
batsman who was able to score
from both
runs.
sides, from both sides.
Yeah.
So in that match, I think, and that was like a 7 match series, I think. Series तो हम हार गए थे, I guess, but there was this match where we were chasing just 249 overs. उसमें भी सहवाग 112 या 15 रन बनाया. And the moment he got out, everything started falling apart. And then with one ball to go, somehow Nehra ji lifted one over mid on, and we won. So yeah, उसके बाद the उसके बाद when did we go next? 2009, right?
Yeah.
Am I confusing?
Yeah, you're
Was
right.
was Nehra ji in 2002?
नहीं,
Yeah,
2002 में ही हुआ था वो. That was like a
oh yeah,
dead rubber.
2009 was Sachin's 160 thing. Yeah, 163. वो series में तो somehow,
2009 was तो बैटिंग पैराडाइज था
yeah,
यार.
it was a batting paradise. I
Through and
don't
through. One day से टेस्ट तक.
somehow उसमें मुझे
धोनी सबने रन मारे उसमें.
Yeah,
Not that
yeah.
धोनी was a good batsman, but still like.
Yeah. But yeah, उस series का मुझे ज़्यादा कुछ I don't remember that much. I'm
Because
sure I
it
must
was a
have
New
followed it.
Zealand side which was also like very in transition New Zealand side था.
Yeah.
Uninspiring. So it is between the Brendan McCullum ka era and Stephen Fleming eras.
Actually,
So
yeah.
it's a confused New Zealand side जिसका pace attack was Ian O'Brien or
Yeah, James Franklin.
James Franklin. So it was
Yeah.
a very medium pacey New Zealand attack.
Yeah. So yeah, उस series का I don't remember. But then after moving to the US, the time zone सही हो गया, right? Since then, I've been following New Zealand में matches pretty well, pretty regularly. So obviously last series with Dhoni wala, the first test which we lost. I mean, we should have lost, and we did, but it was only 40 runs, so that matlab, hurt a little. So, yeah, those are my memories that I remember.
So I'll talk about what my memories are, but before that, let's quickly talk to Aditya. Aditya,
So
what do you remember, my
of
friend?
course, mine would also be a lot similar to this, right? But my memories of so New Zealand as so atmospherics होता है ना हर tour का in your head. So you look ahead to a tour, stuff like that. So for some reason, even with this 98, 99 tour, it felt like say there was no build up to it in my head. So of all the first tours that I've ever witnessed, first tours to every country. So 99 was the first tour to Australia that I witnessed, but 99 tour of Australia for me had a huge build up in my head. So I wanted to watch it over a period of months. So we were looking forward to it starting from the World Cup. So New Zealand के series में for some reason that wasn't the case. We had a very good 1998. We had a good set of one day tours in 98 and we won a lot. So ये tour I almost the only New Zealand cricket I had watched till then was New Zealand was full of these like dibbly dobbly bowlers, right? Back
Yeah.
then. So
Gavin Larson, Chris
the
Harris.
cricket against New Zealand being played in Sharjah and stuff was very boring to watch. Actually, they were not a very fun sight to watch because I had watched them play in the subcontinent or Sharjah. तो ये सीरीज में आई हैड ऑलमोस्ट थॉट कि ये वन साइडेड होने वाला है.
Mm-hmm.
ज़्यादा पता नहीं था ना, सो क्रिकेटिंग नॉलेज नहीं था तभी बेसिकली बोला जाए तो when I first, so the first memory is this waking up. So I woke up very early that day, probably an hour into the game, to watch Simon Dool run through the Indian lineup. So those were like peak Azhar fanboy days मेरे लिए. तो you wake
साइमन
up.
डूल वो with his mullet
हाँ
भी थी ना उसकी.
हाँ, और प्लस there was a thing about anybody who had this face cream ना those days,
Yo,
Dominic Cork,
yeah, Dominic
Alan
Cork,
Donald.
yeah.
तो
डर लगता था.
डर लगता था वैसा फास्ट बॉलर कोई भी हो, किसी भी टीम का किसी भी पेस में डाल रहा हो, लेकिन डर लगता था उनको देख के. तो दैट वाज अबाउट डूल. सो दे रैन थ्रू एंड दिस वाज अनदर वन ऑफ दोज अजर क्लासिक्स. So everything else is collapsing. This guy just scores 100. So
Yeah.
that is my memory. And much later on in this tour, I have two memories. One is I think the very first game of 1999. So our side is not very settled. Dravid ka 123
Yeah.
at Topo, which was a uncharacteristically quick Dravid innings for those times, because Dravid was known for like
For
not
any
hitting
time.
the gap. For not
It was
नहीं यार,
runnable,
बाद
yeah.
में Dravid,
I mean,
think,
yeah, he scored at one point. He had the fastest 50 for India as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
yeah, so that innings was something special. So that's the first time that as a one day cricketer, because Dravid was that those days panned for hitting the fielders, right? कि अच्छे स्ट्रोक्स हैं
अच्छे
लेकिन
शॉट भी हाँ
फील्डर के पास चलता है. तो that was something, that game. And then there was another ODI at Napier in that series where we won we chased down some 200 or 215 या ऐसा कोई score, और that is the only time I have seen Nayan Mongia do something reasonable in a run chase. मतलब क्रंच सिचुएशन में. तो मोंगिया, निखिल चोपड़ा और ऐसा एक सेट ऑफ एक बंच ऑफ, रॉबिन सिंह था उस पे, बट मोंगिया ने और निखिल चोपड़ा ने थोड़ा साथ दिया एंड देयर वाज अ रन आउट. वी ऑलमोस्ट मेस्ड इट अप बट वी इवेंचुअली चेज्ड इट डाउन. सो दैट इज वन ऑफ दोज रेयर सीरीज इन द 90s ओवरसीज जहाँ पे हम हारे नहीं सीरीज. इट वाज अ 2-all draw if I'm not wrong. One game was rained out or something. That series, but 2002 is the first time I saw New Zealand as a genuine threat. ये series tour हम हारे जरूर, but at this point I'm still not, as a kid, looking at New Zealand as a genuine threat. 2002, 2003 it changed because bowling attack was completely different. Shane Bond and Daryl Tuffy. So that series, I echo exactly the same sentiments, and some of those games really hurt, man. Though second game mein we were defending 150 odd in that 98 plays 98 wala game. So I think thanks to Dravid and Sachin ka ek 40 odd, we set them 150 or something in the fourth innings to chase. And they had a wicket keeper तभी. कौन हार्ट था, कौन सा, रॉबी हार्ट?
Robbie Hart.
नहीं, there was some Matthew Hart, some Hart, HART. So he chased down in the end. So we again got early wickets in that 150 chase, but somehow with their lower order they managed to chase. And there is another game which really hurt me in that tour, which is the very first one day of that series, जहाँ पे शिव सुंदर दास ओपन कर रहा था अपने लिए. And we got bowled out for 100.
Oh yeah, it was a very low scoring game. Yeah.
बहुत बहुत गरीबों का सचिन.
भाई
बट उसका भी 15 मिनट्स ऑफ फेम
जो
हुआ
गरीबों के गरीब है उनका गरीबों का सचिन.
सचिन
हाँ मतलब बहुत गरीबों का सचिन.
आता भी ओडिशा से.
देखो हम में से कोई भी ओडिया नहीं है तो इसलिए वी शुड नॉट बी, बट या
नहीं, ओडिशा से we have not thrown up a lot of cricketers ना. We have just given Devang Gandhi. तो
नहीं, देवांग गांधी बंगाल से है. Calm down.
He didn't play for Odisha? Oh
no, Devang Gandhi was Debashish Mohanty was playing.
Debashish Mohanty. So given that Odisha has only produced these 3 cricketers, तो उसको बोलना भी सही नहीं है गरीबों का, because ओडिशा से क्रिकेटर तो आया यार, मतलब that is what you should.
मोहंती का आज भी मोहंती रजनीकांत है ओडिशा का.
अरे
खड़ा
मोहंती
हो जाए
वाज
ना
one of the best swing bowlers, huh, growing up.
बस प्रॉब्लम यही था कि स्टंप के बाद निकलने के बाद बॉल स्विंग होता था, बेचारा मोहंगिया को
अरे
प्रॉब्लम होता था
बाय द वे,
ऐसे मैच
एक
करता था।
क्वेश्चन है,
हाँ
कंप्लीटली डाइग्रेसिंग. आईसीसी का एक 99 वर्ल्ड कप का जो लोगो था, याद है?
हाँ, वो मोहंती है।
वो मोहंती
हाँ
है
वो
ना?
मनती है, राइट, वो मनती है डेफिनेटली।
कोई- तुम लोगों को लगता था, तुम लोगों ने किसी को पूछा तभी कि हाउ
नहीं,
डू
मैं
यू,
देख के समझ गया था।
वो देख के मेरे दिमाग में
हाँ,
भी वो मोहंती है, लेकिन किसी ने क्लैरिफाई नहीं किया अब तक.
नो नो, आई एम
नहीं,
श्योर
मैं
वो
देख
मनती
के
है।
समझा।
तो
अच्छा, बाय द
मोहंती को
वे,
पैसा मिला था क्या उसके लिए फिर?
ये भाई
2002 2003 में एक बहुत ही वियर्ड सा मैच भी हुआ था, राइट? द प्रैक्टिस मैच और समथिंग, 2 innings 10 over the
सुपरमैक्स,
side.
दैट वाज
वो
मार्टिन
हाँ
क्रोज ब्रेन चाइल्ड, सुपरमैक्स.
मार्टिन
हाँ
और सचिन अभी
हाँ,
भी उस चीज को लेके बैठा
एग्जैक्टली,
हुआ
हाँ
है।
सच, एग्जैक्टली वही मेरे दिमाग में आया था कि सचिन अभी तक उसको लाइक 2 innings, मतलब व्हाट द हेक।
उसका प्रॉब्लम ये था उसमें कुछ तो भी होता था तो आपको 8 रन भी मिल रहे थे। आई
हाँ
डोंट नो
हाँ,
आपको याद
इट
है, मे
वाज,
बी यू गेट
आई थिंक इट वाज
नहीं, तो
tier
दैट वाज,
wise,
वो
the
सुपर हिट होता था, वो
tier
डिस्टेंस के
wise,
बेसिस
yeah.
पे. हाँ, टीयर.
If you
हाँ
go in the second tier, then 8 runs.
So
हाँ,
in one of that, Sachin has made 70 odd in 29 balls
29
in
बॉल.
that,
Hmm.
and
क्योंकि उसमें
like
ऐसे 6 12 16 कुछ भी
हाँ
मिलते
हाँ,
थे ना,
yeah
तो
yeah
ऐसे
yeah
जुड़ के तो कोई भी बना लेगा.
yeah.
तो हाँ, तो वो फर्स्ट वनडे इज पर्टिकुलरली इंटरेस्टिंग बिकॉज उसमें हम लोगों ने 110 बनाया था. At one point, New Zealand are also 90 for 8 or something. So they start off reasonably okay. Srinath was in red hot form in that series, यार. मतलब Srinath was bowling like McGrath then. उस स्टोर में genuinely saw, and I actually think he had
I just
Srinath
I
played
just
that test
realized
series.
Srinath and McGrath are also spelled a little similar.
नहीं, had Srinath been played that test series,
2003 वर्ल्ड कप में श्रीनाथ अपने लिए मैगराथ ही था, ठीक है।
अरे अच्छा डाल रहा था, मतलब genuine.
हाँ
He was.
हाँ, श्रीनाथ बहुत अनलकी था कि वो उस टाइम में पैदा हुआ, जस्ट लाइक रॉबिन सिंह।
हाँ,
तो लोग हंस रॉबिन, अच्छा तो लोग मुझे पता आईपीएल में रॉबिन सिंह की क्या वैल्यू होती है।
हाँ, रजत भाटिया.
हंसता नहीं तो
Rajat
लोग
Bhatia.
रजत भाटिया प्रो.
कम ऑन यार, कम ऑन यार,
नहीं
कम
यार,
ऑन यार,
एक
कम
सेकंड.
ऑन यार।
Fielding and bowling, maybe he could have been useful in pitches like Chennai या Hyderabad, but
नहीं,
I don't see him batting.
सीएसके
कहाँ
में
करता था वो
सीएसके
actually?
नहीं.
में रहना होता वो भी।
What?
करेक्ट
अरे
करेक्ट, आई
आईपीएल में कर
अग्री.
लेता।
उसका बॉलिंग नहीं काम आता, रादर
Exactly, उसका
रॉबिन
बैटिंग
सिंह
काम
का
आता।
बैटिंग अगेंस्ट द काइंड ऑफ स्पिन हेवी बॉलिंग अटैक्स दैट यू हैव
No
एट द
man,
आईपीएल.
he just had 2 shots, just a slog
तो
and a nudge
काफी है
towards
यार.
third man. नहीं यार, come
सकलेन
on.
मुश्ताक को उसने रुला दिया था उस लॉक स्वीप के साथ में.
But यार, no, come on. I mean,
आर
I don't
पाकिस्तानी
see him.
सपोर्टर्स शुड राइट टू अस, ओके, ऑन दिस, कि आप लोगों को रॉबिन सिंह के बारे में क्या लगता था. राइट टू अस अबाउट दिस.
वो रॉबिन सिंह signified India basically because he was unlike Indian players back in the day. He was a
Collingwood.
great fielder,
गरीबों का
great fielder.
कॉलिंगवुड.
ठीक
And
है,
he was fit. Like, no, I'm not denying that, but his batting just
अग्रेशन का कुछ
didn't give.
मतलब अग्रेशन था उसमें, बट वो द्रविड़ वाला अग्रेशन था जो आंखों में होता है, मुंह से कुछ नहीं होता।
Yeah. No,
But
that's why he's the coach, right? He's a
बेसिकली
decent
देख,
coach. Yeah.
आई विल टेल यू, रॉबिन सिंह का अपग्रेड बाद में क्या हुआ, मोहम्मद कैफ. जडेजा का अपग्रेड वाज युवराज सिंह. दैट इज हाउ आई सॉ इट.
No, I think
नहीं
Cash was a
नहीं,
better batsman than Bob. How
आई
are you
नो,
saying that?
बट वो हार्ड वर्किंग क्रिकेटर वाला एक ब्रैकेट होता
Oh,
है
अच्छा,
इंडियन टीम में,
like I mean personality wise.
पर्सनालिटी वाइज. तो
मैं आई मीन रॉबिन सिंह को मैं किसी खांचे में नहीं डाल सकता, बट मुझे पता नहीं क्यों ऐसा लगता है कि आईपीएल में स्पेशली लाइक चेन्नई हो गया, बॉम्बे हो गया, ऐसी टीम्स बहुत वैल्यू से लेती है उसको, मुझे ऐसा लगता है।
चेन्नई में
कोलकाता
वुड हैव बीन अ वेरी गुड फिट,
पुराना
क्योंकि
कोलकाता,
स्लो
पुराना
विकेट.
कोलकाता।
हाँ,
हाँ,
पुराना कोलकाता.
चेन्नई में तो अभी भी आ जाएगा, उतनी उतनी उम्र के प्लेयर्स हैं.
अच्छा तुम लोग ये याद है 2000 तो फर्स्ट आईपीएल, आई कंप्लीटली डाइग्रेस, पहला आईपीएल हुआ
यार ऐसे
तो लोगों
डिसअपॉइंट
ने
हो जाएंगे हमारे फैंस यार. We should stick. Anyway, हाँ.
अभी एक तो प्रॉब्लम ये है कि तुम लोग से बात तो होती नहीं है, तो इसी टॉपिक इसी समय बात होती है, तो ये सब चीजें दिमाग आती है। तो पहला आईपीएल हुआ तो लोगों को समझ में आया कि आईपीएल इज बिकमिंग सक्सेसफुल, लाइक इट्स गोइंग टू स्टे राइट आफ्टर द फर्स्ट आईपीएल। सेकंड आईपीएल जब होने लगा तो लारा आया था, नाम लगा, लारा वाज इन द ऑक्शन, nobody picked him but he was in the auction,
Yeah.
so just something that came to my mind.
हाँ, सो 2002 खत्म. तो आई एम डन. और 2014 द ओनली अदर गेम, 2009 मेरे लिए एक नॉन इवेंट है, सो आई डिडंट कंसिडर दैट सक्सेस दैट बिग. वी वन अ सीरीज. गंभीर का वो इनिंग्स वाज ओके, Napier वाला, but even that the wickets had flattened out towards the end. The same pattern New Zealand में सबसे अब तक follow हो रहा है. But the
Hmm.
2014 that Auckland Test match hurts, man.
Oh
The
yeah,
one where we almost chased down. So that
almost
was like
yeah,
one of two chases that year.
yeah.
Uh, there was
And then
Adelaide in the fag
Adelaide.
end
See,
and this at the
but
very
both of them, if you actually look at it, see, we were always behind in the game.
end.
It's just that somehow, मतलब Auckland में, I think Ishant ने like our
Shami
bowling
and Ishan. हाँ.
kind of brought us back, and Adelaide was all Kohli. There was nothing else there.
But it still
So
hurts because with the bat, I think we were
oh
in the
yeah,
game.
especially that Adelaide one. Though I remember I was with two or three friends. It was definitely it was a weekend or कुछ तो vacation था, and we were मतलब पूरा रात भर पूरा like we followed everything. हारने के बाद 1 घंटा proper analysis भी की हमने. So yeah, that definitely hurt. Just because Kohli पूरे test में was just he was in some zone. And it was almost a six when he got out, man. He was going to win it. Like I think even Lion couldn't believe it कि मतलब catch हो गया वहाँ पे. So but वो yeah, that Auckland one, मतलब I never expected, मतलब Watling से I भी तब I didn't know how he was. So but especially what McCullum did was
No, that was the second game. No, I am talking about the first one where we chased down 400 almost. जिसमें
400. Yeah, we
हाँ,
lost by 40 runs. Yeah.
we lost by 40 runs and उसमें I was pissed off with Jadeja in that game. So Jadeja almost when he came on to bat, I think we needed 100 odd and Jadeja had a very quick 30 plus.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And Dhoni and Jadeja were batting, and all it needed after that, all we needed to do was like bat a little
Yeah, yeah,
sensibly, and Jadeja
yeah,
threw away his wicket as usual.
yeah.
Jadeja और न्यूजीलैंड के साथ में तुम लोगों ने नोटिस किया है क्या? There is a pattern. There is same happened with the earlier in that tour. On that tour, we had that one day game at Auckland again. वो Ashwin Jadeja वाला.
Hmm.
Then that test match happened. Then this World Cup semi-final, and then this game, this one day game, second
Yeah.
ODI. So Jadeja and New Zealand is like a tragic love story.
Hmm.
So
Romeo and Juliet.
कभी ना कभी बदला लेगा जडेजा. देखो.
तो मैं थोड़ा सा पीछे जाना चाहता हूँ. आई डोंट इवन रिमेंबर इफ आई हैव सीन इट live because again we were too young, but I remember ESPN had just, at least ESPN was very new in
White
in
logo.
my home, in Milo. Like it's this is I'm talking about 94 95. Okay. So 94 95 में we went to New Zealand, and very interestingly we played a 4 match one day series, and then we played a quadrangular series, which was the Centenary Cup, New Zealand Centenary Cup. And I, like, again we've talked about this. I fucking, why don't these things happen anymore now? Like it was New Zealand,
Yeah.
Australia, India, South Africa quadrangular series. And I remember ESPN would do like a 1 hour highlight in every evening, and my dad would like watch it, and I'd see it. So why I remember this is because, and we've talked about this before as well, two drastic things is I think in the one day series that India played with New Zealand, India had one of the worst ever uniform that I have ever seen from India.
पीला
But
वाला.
when we pila और नीचे नीला. But when we moved to the Centenary Cup, I think it is till date, I think 92 World Cup के बाद the best uniform that India has ever had. And I just wish कि we had it back. But so I primarily, my memory is somehow just remembering कि ऐसा इतना ग्रीन पूरा इन्वायरमेंट एंड उसमें ऐसा इंटरेस्टिंग यूनिफॉर्म, सभी का यूनिफॉर्म एक्चुअली बहुत अच्छा था हर टीम का, बट इंडिया का कुछ ज़्यादा ही अच्छा था और बहुत ही लाइक इट वाज समथिंग वेरी फैंसी फॉर मी, स्पेशली बिकॉज माय फर्स्ट क्रिकेटिंग मेमोरी स्टार्ट्स एट 94 and first cricketing memory is New Zealand coming to India and then West Indies coming to India, those two series, right? Ken Rutherford और Richie Richardson की टीम्स, एंड वनडे सीरीज भी वाइट्स में हुआ था
Yeah.
दोनों. और उसके बाद अचानक से जाना टू सी लाइक कलर्ड, लाइक दैट वाज माय फर्स्ट टाइम टू सी कलर्ड क्लोथ्स एंड क्रिकेटर्स, एंड समहाउ श्रीनाथ को बॉलिंग करते थे कलर्ड क्लोथ्स में, कामली की बैटिंग, आई रिमेंबर दैट. एंड दैट इज लाइक एवरी टाइम एनीबडी टॉक्स अबाउट न्यूजीलैंड tour, India going to New Zealand, I just, that is the thing that comes to my mind. We played some good cricket. One of the most significant thing that happened during that time period is for Sachin to open. Before that, Ajay Jadeja and Manoj Pravakar used to open for India in one day.
Hmm.
And I mean, good for them. But then, but then Sachin Prabhakar, Sachin Jadeja started to open, and that is all that happened during that series. It was a like रॉब लिंडा का एक बहुत प्यारा वीडियो अगर तुम लोगों को देख कभी सीरीज रिव्यू है उस
देखा है मैंने वो,
सेकंड
देखा है हाँ.
वो लाइक वैसा क्रिकेट अभी भी मतलब 90s में हो रहा है उसमें भी पिच में दौड़ के आ रहे हैं लोग वो सब हो रहा है पूरा
Yeah.
इंडिया again beat Australia in a one day game in that series and which is again something that is
बट फॉर सम रीजन वो सारा सीरीज फील मोर मॉडर्न टू मी देन आज का पान बाहर एड वाला
exactly
इंडियन स्टेडियम.
and more classy somehow
हाँ.
I don't know like
यार आज पान बाहर का ऐड अभी तक होता है यार. Why is it even allowed?
हाँ अगर अपन विल्स नहीं कर रहे तो पान बाहर क्यों कर रहे हैं
Yeah.
एंड दैट
और at
somehow
least
पान
do
बाहर
something. Do like music CD का कर दो यार. मतलब ना like something
अरे
something.
न्यूजीलैंड में डनीडन और माउंट मैंगनोई में भी पान बाहर
Yeah,
है
yeah,
यार.
वही बोल रहा हूँ मैं.
It
Like I know.
ruins the visual of the games
Yeah,
so
yeah.
badly.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया में
But
कमला पसंद की बाउंड्री रोप्स रहती हैं यार.
but one thing I have to say because मैं ये podcast में I've taken up this mantle कि इस सीरीज का जो विजुअल्स है ना ग्राफिक्स जो न्यूजीलैंड में स्काई स्पोर्ट्स और whoever does the broadcast it's the cleanest and the slickest that I have seen in cricket basically. मतलब बहुत बार बोला है मैंने but we must learn man at least hire that guy. This is how you should package your TV graphics यार. You don't have हमारे यहाँ पे पूरा स्क्रीन भर जाता है लेकिन स्टैटिस्टिक्स जो काम का है वो मिलता नहीं है जब टाइम पे चाहिए तो.
Yeah.
Something we must.
just I just have to say one thing on that and who like if our listeners get it but I know the two of you will Aishwarya oh my god Aishwarya
अच्छा, by the way,
मैं
do you want to go to the second test team?
yeah this so I just wanted to talk over my memory and now
Oh yeah.
so no I have so basically my memory is this series is just like somehow ये वैसा कुछ है कि I don't know what is your first cricketing memories for you guys but like this is part of my first cricketing memory and it has just take और इसी के just बाद एक पाकिस्तान श्रीलंका का टेस्ट सीरीज हुआ था इतना बोर इतना डल पर वो भी लाइक स्टिक हो गया क्योंकि शायद तब मैं बीमार था तो मैंने वो सीरीज भी पूरा देखा बैठ के with that so why do I want to talk about the second test
मेरा एक पाकिस्तान का नाम लिया तो मैं जस्ट एक बोल देता हूँ ऐसा बिकॉज हम लोग रैंडमली बोलते ही हैं चीज़ें कि पाकिस्तान के अंदर एक ट्राई सीरीज टाइप हुआ था वो मेरे मेमोरी में बहुत स्टिक हुआ है जब यू से पाकिस्तान के अंदर देयर वाज अ ट्राई सीरीज विच वेरी कलरफुल लाहौर में देयर वाज अ रन चेज विद साउथ अफ्रीका चेज डाउन अ बिग स्कोर बैक देन लाइक आमिर सोहेल ओपन करता था तब का पाकिस्तान साउथ अफ्रीका श्रीलंका
97 राइट
97 हाँ ब्राइट ग्रीन
I remember the dress. I'm just trying to remember any matches. Maybe scorecard या वीडियो
तो
देख
वो
के याद आ
बहुत ही
जाएगा.
फ्लैट विकेट सीरीज था उसमें बहुत बड़ा बड़ा रन चेसेस हो रहा था एवरीबडी वाज चेजिंग डाउन ड्यू था बहुत सीरीज में वो सीरीज मेरे दिमाग में इस तरह से दैट इज स्टक टू माय हेड
तो उस वो सीरीज का ग्राफिक याद है टाइम्स न्यू रोमन
हाँ याद है
ओह माय गॉड लाइक कोई एफर्ट ही नहीं मारा लोगों ने उस सीरीज में
वही तो सबकॉन्टिनेंटल क्रिकेट में एस्थेटिक्स गोज फॉर अ टॉस वी डोंट इवन केयर अबाउट इट तो ऐसा कुछ भी कर लो आईपीएल में तो कुछ भी चल रहा है यार मतलब 2050 का रोबोट वाला कुछ ग्राफिक्स आ रहा है मतलब क्यों
वो तो कहाँ से आ रहा है तुम्हें पता है ना सीधे टाइम्स नाउ के स्टूडियो से सीधे वहीं जाता है
So moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. So this is the last section.
We
of
promise.
If
you're still listening,
Home.
those who are listening to us.
So basically, what I'm trying to say is that we kind of know because the Indian setup is like that, right? We kind of know the first test 11 will be what it will be, but based on the performance of the first test 11, the second test 11 will be decided. So I want you guys to just think for a bit कि कौन कौन हगने वाला है फर्स्ट टेस्ट में और उस हिसाब से मुझे ये बताओ कि सेकंड टेस्ट 11 क्या होगा तो आदित्य से शुरू करते हैं क्योंकि हर चीज वो निशान से पहले शुरू हुई तो फिर आदित्य सेकंड टेस्ट 11 में क्या चेंज देखता है तू
देखो रियलिस्टिकली देयर आर अ फ्यू स्लॉट्स जो बदलने नहीं वाला है व्हिच इज पुजारा कोहली रहाणे एंड योर थ्री सीमर्स ठीक है
एंड पंत आई थिंक नो मैटर व्हाट ही डज
पंत वर्सेस साहा
वो
यू
हटा के
स्टिल डोंट
कितना
नो.
लाओगे?
हाँ,
हम्म,
assuming पंत, ठीक है. तो one of these two openers, Vihari is a shoe-in. Whether he plays at the top or he
Yeah,
bats in the middle order, he is a shoe-in. ठीक है.
yeah,
तो
definitely.
मयंक को तो ये लोग बिठाने से रहे. So there is only one slot which might change. जो कोहली शास्त्री will risk, which is that Prithvi Shaw versus Gill वाला slot. So that is the only shootout I see changing, and potentially Jadeja versus Ashwin wala. So I think they will start off with Vihari at the top, Vihari and Mayank, and that is not going to change. If it is Vihari and Mayank in the first test, nothing will change in the batting order. लिख के ले लो. But if it is Shaw and Mayank,
then we are it.
then you might see Vihari coming in the second test.
इन लोग शॉ को कोई कफ सिरप पिला के सुला देंगे, बोलेंगे ड्रग.
That is all. It's a very unsexy answer, but वही होगा. Because I
और
don't
इधर
see anything else changing.
और पेस ट्रायो में भी कोई कुछ चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, पेस ट्रायो भी चेंज नहीं होगा.
Well, I hope if Ishant is fit, then he plays the second test.
Aishat is not playing these two tests.
So yeah, I
I
mean,
can
if he's not fit, then pace trio में क्या ही change होगा? Like
Warm up नहीं खेल रहा है तो I don't see him playing the. He shouldn't be playing the test series either.
yeah.
If he's not good at the warm up.
And in fact, so I don't think again now, just because it's just a 2-test series, I don't think they're going to risk Saini. He's in the squad, right?
Yeah.
he's
तो barring another injury, I don't see him playing. Second test में I think I have a feeling किसी तो एक test में Gill will play. One test he's going to play somehow.
so
कुछ तो injury
here's-
होगी, कुछ तो होगा, whatever.
I have this feeling, I have this very, very strange feeling that first day we will lose the toss and we'll be put to bat, and before lunch we will be
अभी
like,
टॉस जीता है आगे पिछले 10 साल से.
और मतलब
18 for
लंच लंच मैं 52 for 5 बोलने वाला था, पर 80 for 5 तो कभी नहीं होगा. अगर 5 है तो 80 नहीं होगा, और अगर 80 है तो 5 नहीं होगा.
नहीं,
ये
5 है
दोनों
तो
चीजें
80 हो सकता है.
हो सकता है यार.
पंत ने आके slog किया.
If Shaw and Pant both are playing, तो
The only way
120
5
ऑल आउट भी हो सकता है.
नहीं, अगर द ओनली वे 80 for 5 हो सकता है इस अगर ऐसा हो कि
Start.
पहला विकेट गिरा 63 पे और फिर 5 गिर गए. क्योंकि अगर लेट्स से कि शॉ आया और शॉ आउट हो गया तो इन लोग दुकान बंद कर देंगे, और फिर ऐसा होगा कि फिर अपन लंच पे जाएंगे, ऐसा 51 for 3 इस टाइप से लंच पे जाएंगे. तो अगर 5 होना है तो फिर वो 52 for 5 होगा, और अगर 80 होना है तो फिर 80 for 1 होगा, ऐसा कुछ रहेगा. दिस इज माई टेक्स, बट व्हाट आई फील इज गोइंग टू हैपन इज 50 odd for 5 in the first day, and वहां से we'll just be chasing the game. Second innings में Mayank will fail again. Both openers will fail in both the innings. Basically, both I'm expecting.
तुझे
दोनों
तो सब पता ही है, तो तू देखेगा ही क्यों?
चलो
expecting both होगा.
मैं ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ. Of the others that you expect to perform, कौन हगेगा? That is the question.
मैं उमेश.
बैटिंग में
नहीं,
मैं तो ये ऑलरेडी गिवन अवे कि you are a उमेश hater.
बैटिंग में मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में कोहली
हगेगा.
10 रन नहीं बना पाएगा.
Definitely हगेगा कोहली.
और second
At
innings
least 2
में
innings
कोहली-
out of 4 he's not going to perform. Yeah.
सेकेंड इनिंग्स में कोहली विल स्कोर अ वेरी अगली 30 और समथिंग. ठीक है. और पुजारा अच्छा खेलेगा. पुजारा लाइक फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में ही स्कोर अ 50. सेकेंड इनिंग्स में ही गेट आउट टू अ कंट्रोवर्शियल डिसीजन. रहाने फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में ऐसा लगेगा कि
Directed by Abbas Mustan.
रहाने फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में क्या होगा, मतलब रहाने ऐसे शुरू में थोड़ा सा ऐसे शुरू के 10 बॉल थोड़ा पैची होगा, बट ही सी थ्रू दैट पीरियड. उसे 3 ऐसे शॉट मारेगा, 3 वैसे कवर में और स्ट्रेट ड्राइव 3 चौके मारेगा, और उसके चौथी ऐसी हगी सी बॉल पे उठा देगा.
I think however smaller that counter punch is, but Rahane's counter punch deserves its own fan base. Something he does, like just Lords में, yeah, he has that South Africa में, then Lords में, then कोहली के साथ Sydney में.
अरे साउथहैम्पटन में
yeah.
फिर वो टेस्ट मैच जो जीते हम लोग इंग्लैंड में पिछले टूर में भी, इंग्लैंड और ऑस्ट्रेलिया दोनों में जीते. एडलेड में भी था उसका एक 80 वहाँ पे.
Yeah.
तो वो काउंटर पंचिंग इज अ डिफरेंट आर्ट. वो वीवीएस लक्ष्मण स्कूल ऑफ काउंटर पंच है.
Yeah.
अच्छा, और नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, फर्स्ट टेस्ट में अगर इंडिया फर्स्ट बैटिंग करता है तो न्यूजीलैंड उसके बाद बैटिंग करेगा, राइट? न्यूजीलैंड लाइकली सेकंड डे बैटिंग करेगा. ठीक है. तो कितने ओवर्स बॉलिंग करने के बाद अश्विन राउंड पे कटा जाएगा? 2 ओवर, 3 ओवर या 8 ओवर, क्या बोलते हो?
5।
डिपेंड्स कि कितने कब बॉलिंग करने आता है, लाइक व्हाट्स द लाइक व्हाट हाउ मेनी विकेट्स दे आर डाउन।
सेकंड डे है मेरा भाई, सेकंड डे में कोई विकेट नहीं गिरता है।
तो फिर
टॉम
या
लेथम और
see one thing which I really hope to see again, my anti-national instincts are kicking in. I want Kane Williamson
अब
to
इतना
have
बोल दिया मैंने, तू समझ रहा है ना कि जो भी सुनेगा वो क्या कमेंट करने वाला है इस पॉडकास्ट में, तुम लोग सारे।
संजीव चावला, आर यू लिसनिंग?
no, I mean, because I think just because New Zealand hai and they don't really play a lot of big test series, and then he missed out in Australia also. I mean, I really want him to. मतलब, in terms of runs and everything, average तो है ही उसका मस्त, लेकिन he should be even closer to Smith and Kohli than where he is. So I really wish him all the luck.
एक और प्रिडिक्शन मैं करना चाहूंगा जाते जाते।
ये
वो
सीरीज भी
प्रिडिक्शन
इधर
ऐसे होगा।
उधर करके अगर जिता दिया ना, दैट विल अनॉय मी मोर, बट इफ इट्स अ विलियमसन क्लासिक आई वुड हैप्पीली एक्सेप्ट इट।
I think Williamson is going to make 100 and Watling will make a good score, and that will be like how they get the first innings lead, and that is the basically the New Zealand template.
मैं
I think one last prediction from me is Umesh will at least bowl 3 balls, which will make Sunny Ji say, "Oh, too good for the batsman." और उनकी अगली बॉल जो रहेगी उन तीनों के, वो पैड पे चौका रहेगी। अब तुम लोग बोल दो मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ।
this
That
is
sounds
going to
about
be Colin de Grandhomme series, my only prediction.
see if
सीरीज
it's with
बॉलिंग
the
को
ball, if it's with the ball then it's okay, with the
नो विद
bat
द
होनी
बैट,
चाहिए, because with the bat then it means that we
क्योंकि क्या होगा
are
पता है,
going
मेरा
to have a
प्रेडिक्शन ले
horrible
लो,
series।
अभी अभी चल ही रहे हैं हम लोग प्रेडिक्शन वाले ट्रेन में, तो
पेल ही
मेरा
रहे
भी
तो
ले
पेल
लो।
ही दो, हाँ।
हाँ, मेरा ऐसा है कि न्यूजीलैंड एटलीस्ट 2 बार ये सीरीज में 70 फॉर 4, 7, 80 फॉर 5 में जाने वाला है,
मेरा
बट
प्रेडिक्शन पूरा
देन
लिया
देयर
है,
विल बी दिस पेनफुल
चार
वॉचिंग।
इनिंग्स में 2 बार,
हाँ,
एक बार, एक बार, एक बार।
एटलीस्ट
योर
एक बार, एट मैक्स 2 बार।
एंड राइट एट द वेरी बिगिनिंग ऑफ द सीरीज होगा ये, एंड देयर विल बी दैट मोमेंट जब हम लोग लाइक अभी खत्म कर दो यार, 150 में ऑल आउट कर दो, बट देन दे एंड अप स्कोरिंग 250, 300, और उसमें ये CDG, फिर तुम्हारा सैंटनर और वॉटलिंग,
या
दे बग यू। इवन विलियमसन पहले 2 इनिंग में नहीं मारेगा, आई विल स्टिक माई नेक आउट। शामी निकालेगा विलियमसन को, बंदा दलेर है, बॉलिंग निकालेगा हमारा।
पानी है घुट्टों में, पर दिल में दिलेरी
I
है।
mean, ideal situation, मतलब this is not a prediction, but what I would like to see is जैसे सचिन करता था ना ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, like team is 200 all out, Sachin is 110. So I hope Williamson and New Zealand have a series similar to that, but that's just a hope.
But this is our biggest series since I would
Australia,
say
not
England.
even Australia, yeah,
Australia तो नहीं यार, Australia
yeah,
was a damn squib in some sense, but England,
yeah, mix, yeah,
pity that it's not a 4 test series, sadly.
yeah,
So in all honesty, I think a lot will depend on who wins the toss and bats,
yeah.
because I think the template will be same, because this will be again drop-in
High
pitches.
time Kohli wins a toss.
It will be so
No, it won't be
if
drop in ना,
somehow
हम लोग we are playing in one of the conventional venues, Basin Reserve में game है which is not drop in, तो
अच्छा, तो फिर वो लो स्कोरिंग होगा, और दूसरा टेस्ट मैच ड्रॉप इन है क्या फिर?
नहीं,
एक तो
दोनों
ड्रॉप इन है
we
ना?
aren't playing at Auckland, right? तो हम लोग दोनों टेस्ट मैचेस हैमिल्टन और
नहीं, Christchurch. It's
क्राइस्ट
Christchurch
चर्च में है।
and
हाँ,
Wellington.
वेलिंग, हाँ, तो neither would be drop in. This will be one of those boutique grounds ना, what they call as boutique venues, those
ब्यूटी ब्यूटी।
the smaller ones, what a beauty। हाँ,
तो तो फिर मेरे को नहीं पता है, तो फिर मतलब इन द सेंस फिर लो स्कोरिंग होगा थ्रू एंड थ्रू। देन मैं मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा था कि अगर ये ड्रॉप इन होता है तो फिर वही वाला टेम्पलेट होगा, जब फर्स्ट टेस्ट में फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में द टीम विल स्कोर लाइक 160, दिस द टीम दैट बैट्स सेकंड विल स्कोर 500, एंड देन द टीम दैट
Yeah,
डज इट
yeah.
सेकंड इनिंग्स
I
विल आल्सो
don't see
स्कोर
a
500।
India
Yeah,
scoring a
500
500।
तो definitely नहीं बन रहा है. Yeah.
इंडिया तो नहीं बना रहा है, ठीक है। Our only chance of winning this series is a 300-350 game in which we bat first,
Or
अच्छा, अब मैं
a 240 plays a 250 kind of. Yeah.
and we
तो
have to bat first. I don't see us chasing down even 150.
निशांत ने अपना बता दिया डिजायर, उसका ये है कि न्यूजीलैंड 200 ऑल आउट और केन विलियमसन 110, बिकॉज ही वांट्स टू सी केन विलियमसन। ऐसा कुछ डिजायर तेरा है, आदित्य?
मेरा I want to see a Rahane counter punch, ठीक
वो
है.
मिलेगा, 2 बॉल के लिए तो मिलेगा.
मतलब उसका जो आई हैड अ लॉट ऑफ फन वाचिंग हिम बैट इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया मैन. ही वाज स्टार्टिंग ऑफ लाइक 30 बॉल सहवाग की तरह, एक मिनी सहवाग की तरह बैटिंग कर रहा था वो ऐसे. 30 बॉल
मैं
30 टू स्टार्ट
अब
ऑफ.
बताऊं मैं क्या चाहता हूँ. मैं चाहता हूँ कि एक टेस्ट मैच में ऐसा हो कि इंडिया बैट कर रहा हो अपना सेकंड इनिंग्स, जो टेस्ट का फोर्थ इनिंग्स है, और बचे हुए 5 सेशन, और इंडिया को चेस करना है 600, जो इंडिया चेस नहीं कर पाएगा क्योंकि उसके 3 विकेट गिर गए हैं 22 रन पे. और और फिर कोहली रहाने या कोहली हनुमा या समवन लाइक बैक टू द वॉल से 4 सेशन बैटिंग कर रहा है कोई, बस
गंभीर.
कोई मैच ड्रॉ हो रहा है बस,
कभी
लेकिन
डिड
वो
इट वंस.
बस ये चाहिए मेरे को.
नेपियर
ये देखना है
2009
मेरे को.
revisited
मेरे
with
को
better.
बस डॉट्स ही डॉट्स देखने हैं बस सारे,
Okay.
किसी एक से ऐसा.
गेम
Well,
ऑन है जी.
South Africa are very good at that ना, doing this.
यहाँ
Like मतलब
डू
100 ओवर में 80 रन बनाते हैं यार वो.
डूइंग अ डुप्लेसी बोलते हैं
फाफ
उसको.
Yeah,
फाफ फाफ कहते हैं उसको. हाँ
फाफ,
वही.
फाफिंग अराउंड.
faffing.
फाफ. And with that, I think we will say goodbyes.
Caught behind.
Here's hoping for a great series. Caught behind है जी.